right, we're live. Let's check this out. Just trying to check this out. First time throwing this up, so I want to see that this is actually on YouTube. Oh, I see I have a viewer count there. 0. Solid. Cool. So now I should be able to see. Interesting. So I guess you can go to YouTube Studio, Analytics. Let's see it. Maybe if I switch accounts. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, I found it. So now I see here. Cool. Seems to be working. I hopped into my own stream for a second there. Okay, cool. So today we are going to be building some stuff. I'm testing out this feature as well. So basically what I want to do, I've got a couple projects I'm going to work on. We'll see how much we can get done. But I'm going to start out with this applicant tracking system that we've been building. And I got this from one of our engineers, and there's some basic improvements that need to be made to this to make sure that it's ready to go live. And so I'll basically show you like the SEO, page performance, and basic setup that I want to have on a website to make sure it's ready to crank. So we'll get into that to get started. Let me just open the workspace and get everything ready to go. So here we have the workspace that I'm working in. Did I add? No, I need to add shit there. Okay, so I always work in a workspace because then I can add both my front end and my back end and interact with Claude Code there. So I actually haven't cloned this yet. So I'll need to do that and get this locally. So let me do that in another window. I can probably just hang out here on screen with you guys. Let's see. do have this here actually, so I gotta rearrange my folder structure a bit before I can get productive. I thought about prepping a little bit of this, but I thought I would just do it for real. What it's actually like setting this stuff up. I wonder where that is. Is it in Playground? Eastside? No. Wait a second. Maybe I could get you guys like some music. That would be great to have music on these streams. Just rookie here getting this set up. I wonder how I interact with guests too. Where is this actually? Okay. There we go. Sorry that took a while. Kind of annoying. Here we go. All right, getting the front end Next.js app in there. Now I will get the backend Laravel project set up there as well. Gonna have to do the initial setup on this too. Set up a database. All right, boom. I've got them both there. So this is the magic of coding with Claude these days compared to what it used to be. So there's already a lot of work done here. This is the fully functional front end for this app. Here is the Laravel API. So I can just simply hop in here and ask Claude. Let's do that. It's really that simple. So I want to get this project set up locally. Please set up a Postgres database and get the front end and back end dependencies installed and running. So that's literally going to set this up for me. Maybe a little boring, but this is what you have to do to get things going. And then we'll get into more of the meat of the actual SEO improvements as we go. In the meantime, I'm going to set up one other repository for another project we might work on during this session. I wonder how I see if there's comments. I see there's one viewer, but that could just be my YouTube. you there, bro? Is this single person there? It looks like on Twitch, so it must be somebody real is currently watching. There we go, dude. Or lady. StreamYard, right sidebar, comments. All right, there we go. Yeah, Claude Code just makes programming so much more fun. You can just do the thinking. You don't have to think about the missing semicolon. You do need to know the structure of your code and how things need to be arranged, but really Claude is going to be able to do all the setup here for this, get this project ready to go. Honestly, you could potentially do it a little faster, just spinning up a Postgres database, doing npm install and composer install, but I'm just going to let this work so I can do something else. Okay. Oh yeah, another pro tip. If you want it to just run, turn on YOLO mode, so it will just get things done for you. Okay, so this is an applicant tracking system. Like I said, we're going to do the SEO on this and get some assets there. For the other project, we're going to work on a fully featured application for yacht brokers to be able to buy, sell, list yachts, as well as interact with each other and build a community. So that'll probably be a multi-part that we're working on to really get that one done. But I'm going to want a proper backend for this project as well, this yacht project. So let me create a new GitHub repository. I do everything in GitHub. And you see it's asking me here to approve everything because I didn't enable YOLO mode soon enough. Rookie mistake. So let's do... Boom. There we have that. Let's create a workspace for this new project. I'll actually get 2 projects going here at the same time as I work. I just got to keep Claude, my guy Claude, busy. That's the main goal here. All right, second project workspace is set up. Let's get a new Visual Studio window going. Should probably share on my ultra wide in the future so we have a bit more real estate. All right, here we go. Here is a second workspace we're going to be working in. So these guys will be jamming away. Try to clean this up a little bit. I still want to see my file structure. Don't care about that welcome screen. And this is really making me do bash every time. Yes. Yes. No. Yeah, okay, it's going to make me do all of these, isn't it? It's super annoying. So what happens when you don't enable it right right away when you start working. Doesn't seem to be actually. I have edit, I have read. Don't have write. There's write. Multi-edit. Don't really need that. Web search I do want to add. Cool. And that should speed things up. Let's make sure I don't make the same mistake here. Okay, so now we have 2 empty GitHub repos here for Yacht Broker. This is the project that we're going to be doing for brokers of yachts to connect, to buy, sell, to have listings. So we're just going to want to prompt Claude to get the initial project set up here. So since I do Pro Claude Max, I just actually leave thinking mode on just because I find it makes less mistakes that way. So that's just the way I roll with that. So we are going to create, you know what, I should just use Whisper. That'll be cool for you guys too. I want you to create a front-end Next.js project in Yacht Broker Club front-end and a Laravel API in Yacht Broker Club Laravel API. It will use a Postgres database. So just get this project set up. Boom. All right. So far, I've tried 3 at the same time, and it just makes focusing a little hard. It can actually, when I'm not recording, it can be really nice to just do one project, prompt, go do something else, prompt, go do something else, maybe lift some weights or just get some movement, read a book, think about something. So it's really enjoyable to actually do that. This is a bit more intense because you're kind of managing 2 different workflows at the same time, but I think it'll be fun. So all right, this guy's getting set up. What are we on? Install front-end dependencies, configure front-end environment, start Next.js. Yep, sounds about right. Shoot. I don't think I'm on the right branch for this repo though, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this working. We deployed it live and switched over to a production branch. So I was actually working on an old branch there, which is not going to help us. So that's production. Let's go here. Here's our production branch. Let's fetch production. Okay, so these are both on production. Why don't I just try to get into these, honestly? This is eating my computer's CPU and memory. Let's just close a few things here. Notorious Chrome tabs everywhere. All right, that should be a bit better. Apply, let's go into the app. I don't know. Let's go in there and npm install. I already created the Postgres database, so I mean, I did install. No, I did not set up the front end yet. So this should set this up. Laravel backend server, I'm gonna have to restart, get that going. Easy enough. just see what front end we're working with right now here. Make sure I have the latest. Come on. Interesting. Do not have all my modules. That could be because I think this project originally used Yarn to install dependencies and now uses NPM. So I'm just gonna ask Claude. All right, so that's working. We always, whenever we get a pig, pretty much we use a Laravel API, just because Laravel's opinionated. It's very clear how you should write all the code in Laravel. It's very organized. So because there's a specific way to write code in Laravel, LLMs are super good at writing Laravel code. So it's very productive at building the API in Laravel. And pretty much Next.js on the web front end all the time. That's the go-to standard, the most popular framework for front-end web development. So that's what we're going to go with here. And then always a Postgres database. I mean, there are times when you need like a vector database or other things. But for like the standard CRUD app, you want to have a Postgres database. And the reason why you want an SQL database is data integrity. So you always have to define each entry on a database. This is the email, this is the first name, this is the last name. Whereas with a NoSQL database, you just have a JSON blob. So all it takes is someone changing something, rearranging those, renaming those, and your whole database structure is broken. Maybe you have orphan data all over the place. Maybe you're missing old data. And it used to be a little bit harder to work with Postgres and relational databases. But now with LLMs, I feel there's no excuse to just go with that out of the gate. Postgres does also have JSON B fields. So you can have JSON data if for some reason you want that. Sometimes for like blog posts or other things, you just want JSON data because it's faster to actually just spin that up and interact with it. So yeah, cool. So now this is getting set up. Okay, cool. We got our backend running. Interesting. It's too bad I can't play music without sharing a Chrome tab because I'm already sharing. Okay. All right, so looks like we killed that local host. Backend is running, starting the front end. Trying to run it on 3000, 303. Boom. Okay, that should be running pretty soon here. Let me just kill this terminal. Boom. Okay, so this project, the applicant tracking system, applicant tracking systems, just quick overview, is basically any company that wants to hire someone wants to be able to build a custom landing page organize all their applicants in one spot. And that's what we're working with here. So you can see here we've got an applicant tracking system. And, this is just a landing page, but essentially, you can create a page, you can style it, you can add information about the role, you can customize the form for what type of fields you want someone to fill out. So all that, it's a fully functional ATS that we're offering for free, but there's some issues with this, right? First of all, I hate, there's an orphaned word right here. Got to fix that because it just looks terrible. And you see we don't have metadata up here. It just says /dev. We don't have a favicon. We don't have an OG image, and we don't have a bunch of SEO features. So I'm going to focus on showing you some of the SEO features I want to have on a page like this, and get a favicon set up as well. So let me just open Figma in another tab so I can start setting up a few of these things. In the meantime, I'm actually going to get Claude working because this project is all, oh no, it still needs to set up the database. Create the DB. Or I'll just say execute next steps. But I'm going to make a project plan here so that we keep Claude busy while I'm working on this logo generation. So I should just use Whisper. I don't know why I'm typing. You're not going to hear any of this. Sorry about that. So I'm over here in just a Claude window, and I'm going to use Claude in the web to actually build this plan for this app. So let's get this going. I'm building a website called yachtbroker.club that's going to allow people to buy and sell yachts, as well as brokers to connect with other brokers, share tips and tricks, share listings and desired purchases, message each other. This is a Next.js front end and a Laravel API. I want you to set it up, use ShadCN, Tailwind CSS on the front end, make it modern and clean, and create a landing page as well as a login where they can go to the dashboard. We are going to have a super admin, we are going to have brokers, and we are going to have buyers and sellers as regular users. So really just regular users would be a buyer or seller. We'll have brokers, and then we will have super admins in the database. So set that up and get the initial project set up. Yeah, great thing. So I use Whisper Flow. So that captures what I say, and it puts it all into text. Oh, I thought I deleted it, but I got it. So really cool. I think they're a Y Combinator funded company, and it just is nice to talk to make prompts instead of doing it via typing. So nice. So let's see here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know why I did that in Claude. I did want to create a larger plan, so I should have prompted that a little different. Rookie mistake here. I want you to create a prompt for Claude Code to build the following in a .md file plan. I always use .md files with Claude Code because that's basically like a markdown file that you can keep the whole project plan in so that Claude stays busy. You break things into bite-sized chunks so you never time out as you're working. Oh, I do want to also use Zustand for state management. Let me add that in there too. That's just, I prefer that to Redux for state management in Next because it's so much more simple to work with. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna just actually. God, this is making a way larger plan than I expected, actually. We'll see. I actually haven't prompted Claude Code using a plan like this before. I usually just kind of use the plain text version. So like here's my prompt and it's building the whole plan here. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it'll keep Claude busy while we set up other stuff. So that's important. Let's see, what do I want to do to fix this hero text? Create custom pages with Kanban pipelines. I don't love that description, actually. I think I have a better one on our website. Okay. So add metadata, snippets, breadcrumbs, and SEO to my homepage. God, this plan is way too long. It's still cranking this plan out. So I'm actually going to just take my initial prompt because Claude's going to do this anyways. State management. We are actually working on a collection of .md files that we plan on using to be able to streamline the creation of these projects. So you can just plug in the starting prompts to get everything. Like I almost forgot to use Zustand, and just a little thing, but it's nice to get all those things right as you go. So I'm just going to say add this to project plan.md. Boom. That's going to work a lot better there. Boom, that's working. And I'm going to get back to working on a few of the assets because, like I said, I need to have a favicon here. I need to have a actual OG image. So let's get that set up. Gotta stay hydrated, baby. All right, come on. Boom, boom, boom. I think I have my OG images here. Yeah, okay, that's almost done. That's good. size. I can just make a new one. I think favicons need to be like, or OG image size. So 1260 by something. So let me just go here. 1200 by 630 for an OG image. Boom. Now let's grab an epic picture. Well, this is actually for the ATS, right? So I'm gonna just go like dark blue. Let's grab some text. God, I'm seriously lagging on some of my own Figma trying to get this done with all this stuff running. I think that's my OG image, right? Oh, here we go. That's got to be here. Boom. Perfect. Let's grab that one. So we're going to call this an image. Okay. What? All right. I'm just doing some boring stuff right now. I'm just literally like setting up a really bad OG image for this site so that we have that. So let's do that. Let's do the same here. Let's go white and let's change the fill to a dark blue. We're going to lighten this up too. Need better contrast on this. Oops. It's darker. Okay, very simple OG image. Let's call this ATS OG. Export ATS OG. I'm going to need a simple favicon for this. So let's just grab like an icon. You always want to keep track of what you're actually doing. I'm kind of pushing the limits with two projects here, but yeah, so we updated the hero text. We added metadata, added relevant keywords, author, robot.txt, OG data, Twitter card, JSON, root layout data. Okay, cool. And my Figma is basically crashing. Perfect. You know what we can do? You see, maybe you saw that loading next to my mouse. Yeah, Figma just crashed. So we're gonna have to bail on that OG image for now. Should probably just not be working in that mega Figma file when I'm trying to get things done. But let's see. Try one more time to get that set up. We really need to have that. Otherwise, I need to wait till this is done working. You see right now it's building the whole project plan here so that it can execute this. So front end, back end, user roles, table structures. You know, I probably should have specified to use UUIDs everywhere. There's more I could have done. I'm just trying to move fast. So let's try this again. See if there's anything else I can close. Okay, well, that worked. Managed to get Figma to not crash. Let's see if it properly exported it. Yes, now I'm gonna close Figma. This is my call to upgrade my computer, is what this is. Still running on a MacBook Air M1. That's just been great for me, but it is maxing out when streaming and running these. It is totally maxing out. Okay, so now let's see here. We should have a images folder. Let me just get this full screen so I can actually work like a normal human here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we do have a favicon. We just need to connect it. You know, I already added that. Cool. Boom. All right, getting the OG image and the favicon connected. Super basic, super important that you have all these things. So let's see here. I mean, it must not be hot refreshing that, huh? It did actually refresh the H1, but I see that my metadata up here has not been updated. So I'll have to get that fixed. I mean, these are all front-end updates, so I actually don't need my backend to be running. So I'll probably, Claude's got those processes running in the background, which is kind of annoying. So you can either go on the command line and kill those, or I'm just going to ask Claude to kill those processes so I can restart the front end. Oh, motivation. Oh, is that nice? There we go. Yeah, thanks for the comment. Working on it here. We'll see how this goes. We're just gonna be building some stuff. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that's all updated. So I'm just gonna ask it to kill the front end and back end on ports they are on. I think it's like 3002 that's running on. So I'm gonna kill the ports so that I can just manually run the front end. Just kind of annoying me right now. So get that set up. All right, let me just run this again. Dev. Boom. All right, there we go. Now I've got it in my terminal. Run this again. Let's see if the metadata is correctly updated now. Yes, definitely let her know. That would be awesome. Yeah, just basically trying out this type of content to see how it goes and then cut this in a long form. But just building away. We'll see how it goes. I think if we chop this up, it'll probably be fun for people to see more than, possibly I need to get music to make this more interactive. But it's a good start. All right, here. So now you see we have metadata here. We have an OG image so that if I share this, it will have the image that appears in Slack or in your text messages or anything. So that's super basic, not that interesting for you to see. And now I'm gonna kind of get into some more advanced stuff that's really gonna make this page pump. So I got those changed. So now we're going to make the prompt for the footer. So this is like the SEO gold that we're going to do right now. All right, let's get into it. I want you to make a set of footer pages with SEO keywords that are great for an applicant tracking system. There should be at least 20 keywords. You could break it down by industries, by solution types, whatever you think is most effective for the highest value SEO keywords related to an applicant tracking system. Each of these pages will use a single template page that will be similar to the home page, but with more content and keywords tied in as variables to the page. Boom. Yeah, I think that's good to go to get started. So yeah, so the other project, I might hop into it after we get this done, but I think the two projects at the same time was a bit too chaotic, to be honest. And my Mac was not handling it. So I gotta get a Mac Pro if I want to be blasting Claude and streaming with several projects at the same time. I do run two projects at the same time quite often when I'm not streaming, but I think it is taking up quite a bit of compute to do that. So all right, so you see now Claude, the magic of Claude, it is getting to work, getting all this set up. So it's really this easy, and it's incredible that it's this easy, but basically they've got an agentic setup behind the scenes that is breaking this into more logical prompts. This initial prompt is not the thing that's actually getting done. Claude is doing a lot of work to build that into a structured plan that's a lot more specific to Next.js, so that it can build these pages. So it's going to get working away on this. And our end goal is that we are going to have probably around 100 different pages here in the footer, all about an applicant tracking system. And they're all going to have custom keywords for an applicant tracking system that are going to be in the sitemap. The reason why you want them in the footer, the way SEO works, is that your homepage has the most authority often, or your highest traffic page has the most authority, and you spread that authority by linking to other pages. So anything the homepage has a link to, it's giving its authority to those pages. So by having a bunch of SEO terms in the footer, you are spreading that and you're interlinking those pages. So if you have 100 pages, all those 100 pages are linking to each other, right? And it makes each of them stronger. And you put those in the sitemap. We're going to optimize page speed. We already added a little bit of the metadata. We added the OG image. I got the favicon working up here as well. So we'll get a few more SEO things added. We'll get these pages working. We'll translate them to a ton of languages, and get that sitemap so that we can submit it to Google Search Console and get this thing ranking. All right, it's working away. Come on, Claude. Come on, dude. All right, we can work on the other project for a minute while this is planning. So this should be, oh, it's still working, huh? That's not good. Why is this taking so long? Oh, it's executing on the plan already. Yeah, so there's like this planning mode, which typically will make it to where Claude Code doesn't actually execute, it just builds a plan. And I've noticed this is a plugin. This isn't the official Claude Code plugin. This is the official Claude Code plugin, but I just like this one. You can also use it in the command line, of course. And if you're not using Claude Code, get your stuff together and start using it, because it's the only way to build software these days. Yeah. So now it's just executing. It's probably pretty far along. Let's see if it's got like a... Yeah, it's working on the admin dashboard for this already. I probably should have specified like a design system a little bit more. Yeah, it's going to have everything executed by the time this finishes. So we should have something beautiful we can check out when this is done. So yeah, this is, for anyone who didn't hear, this is actually a website test I'm going to build for yacht brokers. So it's going to be similar SEO concept, but for people who want to buy and sell yachts. Maybe that's us someday. Not right now, unfortunately. But buy, sell yachts. And we'll use a bunch of keywords. We'll make it beautiful. We'll make it to where they can log in. They can interact with other yacht brokers and see what we can build here to get that one going. Oh, come on, dude. Why would I ever want the chat so small? Boom, 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 boom. Add footer, links, components. So we created the SEO keywords and structure. Dude, quit auto scrolling down. We created SEO page data files with 20 keywords. We built the reusable landing page component. We created the dynamic routes. We're adding the footer links, generating the metadata and structured data for each page. All right, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Boom. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if this one actually ran and did what it said it was going to do. So you always have to check your work, of course, each step. Come on, dude. Just reload this. I already have it open. Okay, yeah, cool. Just added these down here. Solutions, company size, industries, use cases, features. Free. Gotta love free. Okay, that's not working. Interesting. So for some reason, I wonder what this is actually linking. Is that like rewriting? Yeah, so those routes are protected. So that's just we've got an issue with the authorization on these pages. So the SEO pages seem to be triggering my register page. These should be public available. Yeah, so we obviously had some auth control on the front end, preventing you from being able to view the dashboard, etc. So that was applying to those pages. So get that fixed so that we can actually see these pages. All right. In the meantime, let's see what we got going here. This guy did a lot of work, so I'm curious to see what type of page this was able to put together. Boom, PHP. I mean, don't I need to install my dependencies first? All right, running the back end. Back end is running. Boom, boom. Running the front end. I'm going to install dependencies first. Dependencies are installed. Running the front end on port 3002. Boom, nothing's loading. What did you do, Claude? My friend. It could be because of port 3000, but we're just going to have Claude take care of that so that we can focus. God, it's super annoying. This gets so small every time. Okay, that should be fixed. Let's see if it hot reloaded or if I need to restart the front end. Okay, so here's the SEO pages I added. Interesting. So this doesn't work. Oh, did I stop my front end? No. It looks like it. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Yeah, okay. It was just an issue with the hot reload, so I just had to restart the front end. So here, this is a custom SEO page now. So this is all programmed. This is weak, though. We need a lot more text on this page. I mean, this is weak. We need a lot more custom text. So we need more components and more custom text. It is way too little right now. All right, cool. So now we're getting Claude working to actually make this more robust. I mean, this is just not enough information. There should be descriptions here. I mean, we do have an FAQ. Also, like the contrast is not great. We're going to get to this later on, but this is like off gray on a black and it's pretty hard to read. So that's going to make us lose accessibility points with Google if we don't fix that. So I'm going to get that going too. I just want to fix the structure first so it's right. Then I'm going to add more pages. Then I'm going to translate them. And yeah, we'll need to push this live in order to actually do the proper page speed analysis. So we'll push it live and then see what we can do from there. I mean, the good thing is I think we'll get this first version of this done in this stream. Probably won't get into the page speed. And I will get a working first version of this Yacht Broker app, which will be cool to just see what it's able to create. All right, it says that the front end is running. Can't trust that though, but let's see what happens if we try to run this. Oh, yo, there we go. Look at this, one shot. One shot. A little generic. I want this to be more sleek, but cool. I wonder where it's getting these images. It must be linking to an image library. We do images like this on our AI generated content because obviously we have AIAppBuilder.com. So we've created this, and this lets you take plain text and create applications, and ours generate with images in them. So looks like Claude Code is starting to get a little bit smarter about using public images here, but that's cool. Dashboard. I mean, I don't see a login. Rendering. We got a little rendering down here. This is pretty cool though. I mean, it used an anchor icon. You know, it's got a browse. Oh, this button is messed up. Browse units, list units. Really, really slow. What if something is going on? Oh, my favicon is not working on these SEO pages. Good catch. It's still working on that. Jeez, dude, nobody needs to see all this. Okay, so let's see. What do I want to ask it to do for Yacht Broker? I mean, it's running extremely slow. I'm just going to ask it to shut down the front end. Or just let's have it. I don't see a login button. I also want you to use a little bit more of a sleek and modern UI. Use blue colors and make sure that all the buttons have contrast. The button in the header section is impossible to read because there's no contrast between the text and the button background. So make sure there's a login button that's clearly accessible and all of that is set up. Cool. Get to work, Claude. Okay, here we have this process started. So we got both of the boys working hard right now to get this going. I mean, not bad. This button, terrible contrast. Can't read anything. But overall, not bad. Images are nice. It's great it can auto add images. That picture is not really the right fit. We're going to want to add more information. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, we're an hour in and just casually doing some stuff. We do have a full Laravel API set up for this. It did set up the migrations in the tables, so we should have the login working. I saw it working on the dashboard too, so I'm curious to see what type of dashboard we've got going on. And from that, we've nearly got an app. There's quite a bit more things we need to do here to get this one working, but it's cool that we've got something to kind of show, because we're going to want to make sure those user roles can do different actions. So you're going to need to be able to list a yacht. You're going to be able to need to seek one and search and filter and browse and all that stuff. You're going to want features for the brokers to be able to log in, manage listings, be able to connect with other brokers, have more community aspects. So, and also I just think this is way too generic. So I would want to really clean this side up a bit more as well. So, all right, you guys are working. Yeah, what else can I tell you about what these guys are working? I mean, this was an SEO mission, this ATS, so we really want to get this put together better. So now I'm adding more text. I'm making sure all the keywords match the specific phrase. We're going to have that footer full. So right now we had like 20. We're going to add like 80 more different keywords. Get those there. We're going to translate that. We're going to make sure that the page speed is on point so that it can rank. All these things matter. And if you have a fast and performant website with all the key aspects built into it, you're going to be able to rank and get that free traffic from Google. So you don't have to pay for advertisements, but you can just have it running. Yeah, what else do we want to add here? I would probably want to spend the time picking custom images to be on this page. Like, you want to spend the time. You have to spend the time to have something actually succeed. And then I'm also going to want to see if I can plug into any APIs to pull listings already, real listings, and get real listings on this site. I'm also going to want to make sure mobile is really optimized so that it's really easy and fun to browse, and you'll be able to go through and see different yachts and quickly browse on mobile. Maybe we could even plug in AI to be able to just ask it about the type of yacht you want, and then it can auto suggest. So there's a lot of cool things we're going to be able to do here. So we'll see. Okay, cool. UI has been updated. Boom, boom, boom. Kill the. Okay, well, it says I can just refresh. Sometimes it won't hot reload, actually. So let's see if it hot reloads the changes or not. I think after this, we'll wrap for now and pick this up in phase 2 to work on continuing these improvements. If it makes sense, I could also do stuff like this and then chop it into actionable insights rather than having so much downtime, because there is a fair amount of downtime. And I mean, without some music or something more interactive, I'm not sure if it's a winning concept. This guy's still cranking, getting these going. Yeah, you see, so here, this is what you got to avoid. It actually is trying to do something that took too long, and it got a timeout. So break this into smaller steps in a SEO improvements MD file and execute. This is like taking forever to load. I don't know. I'm just going to have it kill these two, and I will get both of these running in the terminal. Yeah, you definitely get a little lazy because you could just kill these in the terminal, but Honestly, that's part of the joy of working with Claude Code, that you can just ask it to do stuff for you. Okay, front end is running on 3000. Let me get my back end running. Let's go cd Laravel API. Let's Composer install. Let's PHP Artisan serve. All right. There we go. Backend's running on 3000. So now we should have. Okay, I like the colors a little bit more. It did a little bit. You know, we'll fine tune this a lot more. Also, one thing that is important when you're coding with Claude is try to get your design on point in that first page, because you're going to be building on top of what you start with. So if you get that design right, then it's going to create all the other pages in that style. So let's see here. Create an account, test user, info@slashdevIO. We can do info/dev.io. Don't give away your password on stream. That's the key. Okay, cool. So we got an error there. Undefined table, personal access tokens do not exist. So looks like we got an error on our Laravel backend. Got an SQL error trying to register. Make sure register and login work properly. Front end and back end. Make sure that bearer tokens are saved so you can stay logged in. Cool. I think that's a good place to wrap it up for now. So, you know, we're getting there. We're getting this application put together. We're going to get a dashboard in place, and we have those SEO pages, at least initially, in place. So it is going through and structuring this out. And yeah, just got to keep grinding. So yeah, thanks for the time today, and we'll see about picking this up in session number 2. Cheers.